Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my show where I offer misguided advice about video games. Game of choice, Hearthstone. My name is Meerkat, and today is Monday, May 11th, 2015, and in this video I'm going to be talking about the Mage Mass Explosion deck. Mage Mass Explosion deck, what the hell kind of a deck is this? This is pretty much a wombo combo type of deck. I found this deck on Hearthstone.com. Very, very fun deck indeed. It's really fun to pull off. I quite don't seem to have a consistent win rate with this deck. It's a little bit challenging, for me anyways. I love control decks. I love freeze mage decks. This isn't really quite the freeze mage deck that you're used to. It's not really a freeze giant deck because there are no giants. It's basically a one-turn kill wombo combo, and it does pretty well against pretty much every controlling deck. It apparently does really well against all control decks. It's got like a 50-50 shot against aggro decks, and against a control warrior deck, forget about it, you might as well just concede. What I will say is that the total number of damage that you can do with all the spell damage cards that you have in this particular deck is a total of 50 points. So if you are playing against a warrior, or you are playing against a druid, as long as they do not get above 20 points of armor by the time you pull off your combo, then you're good to go. But you got to keep in mind, if you do pull off the entire combo, it's going to require that you drop down to Malygos, and most likely at least one Sorcerer's Apprentice, which is 2 cards, plus 2, 4, 6. That's a total of 8 cards. It's pretty hefty in terms of the amount of cards you need to pull off. But anyways, let's go ahead and talk about the cards in the deck here, shall we? Okay, you got 2 Arcane Missiles, 2 Arcane Explosions, 2 Frostbolts, 1 Bloodmage Thalnos, 2 Mad Scientists, 2 Novice Engineers, 2 Sorcerer Apprentices, 2 Arcane Intellects, 2 Frost Novas, 2 Ice Blocks, 2 Ice Barriers, 2 Ice Blocks, 2 Acolyte of Pains, 2 Dragon's Breath, 1 Antique Healbot, 1 Blizzard, 1 Emperor Thaurissan, which now I like to call him Mr. T. I painted the fool. 1 Flamestrike, and 1 Malygos. Let's go ahead and back out of here and hop into a match. Now, a couple of things to keep in mind. When you're trying to mulligan, you're going to want to throw away your Sorcerer's Apprentice, that's part of the combo. You want to throw away your Malygos, you want to throw away your Emperor Thaurissan, your Mr. T. And then you want to keep anything that has a draw. The only time I ever keep an Arcane Missiles or a Frostbolt is if I'm playing against an aggro deck and I know I probably am going to have to use it within the first 3-4 turns. So I keep an Arcane Missile and a Frostbolt whenever I know I'm playing against a really aggressive opponent. And I might hold on to a Frost Nova, maybe a Blizzard, but I probably only hold on to a Blizzard. I don't even know about that. But what I will say is, we are playing against a Paladin, and I'm not too worried about him being too aggressive. There's not a lot of Shockadins running around these days. It's mostly the Dragon Master Paladin. Ooh, spooky sketty. So I'm not worried too much about those guys. They're kind of more of a mid-rangey to late game type of deck. Which so are we. I'll go ahead and drop down the Mad Scientist now for good measure. So what else? So you want to drop down Emperor Thaurissan before you do the wombo combo, ideally. Hey, look at that! He's got a Blackwing Technician! How about that, man? He got a little Blackwing Technician, got to be pairing himself up, getting a little bit of synergy with the +1/1. I'm pretty certain he's got a dragon. In fact, I'm positive, because that's the only way he's going to get that battle cry, and I'm pretty sure he's a Dragon Master type of hero. Which, there you go. Okay. Anyways, on from that tangent, what I do like to do is I probably could have attacked into him, could have saved me a turn, perhaps, but I do like to get rid of his board early on, my opponent's board early on if I can, if possible. He's not going to be getting any armor anytime soon, if not at all, so I'm not too worried about that. So I can just kind of focus in the early game trying to get rid of his little minion dudes. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to pick into that and end the turn. Next turn I'll drop down the Acolyte of Pain and pick into him again, getting rid of him and having a 1/3 Acolyte of Pain on the board for him to deal with. Hopefully he'll be able to give me at least 2 cards out of it, but we shall see. In this deck, I gotta admit, it is challenging. I mean, it's... Are you... What? He got another Blackwing Technician. What a little butthole. What? You know what? Whatever. It's no problem. Is not a problem. It's not a big deal. Because I tell you, my friend, I tell you. What kind of... I got a nice block. I'm just going to get maximum card value out of my deck here. Out of my Acolyte of Pain. Okay, so this is really strange. This guy has a Fairy Dragon and a Recombobulator. So, 2 cards that you don't typically find in a Dragon Master deck. At least not that I'm aware of. I don't think Fairy Dragon's in there, and I'm most certainly positive it does not have Recombobulator. So, there you go, rank 15, all kinds of crazy things can happen. And a Sword of Justice, I'm pretty sure. Okay, so this guy apparently is not a Dragon Master. But the good news is I am going to get at least 2 cards out of my Acolyte of Pain here. Yay, I got a nice block, very cool. So what I could do next turn is I could probably... Let me think. I gotta be careful here. My cat is scaring me. I gotta be careful here. Now, if I drop an Ice Barrier and I drop a Frost Nova, that's kind of pointless. The reason being is because... Sorry, my cat's distracting me. The reason being is because if you've got an Antique Healbot or an Ice Barrier, that's sustain. That's what's going to continue to let you continue... That was redundant. It's going to allow you to continue playing the games without having to pop an Ice Block just yet, even though I do have one. So you want to play it smart. So if I pop this, it's going to put me at 22 total points of damage. 2, 4, 6 plus 12, 13. Not going to be enough. So I'm going to go ahead and just do this. I'm going to pop into that guy. Pick off the shield. Next turn I could drop down the Flamestrike. He's not going to be able to get me into lethal next turn, which is good news for us. And I can hold on to my Frost Nova for now. See, and that is especially good news, the fact that he does have a Zombie Chow. Now, considering the type of deck that he's playing, considering the type of deck that he's playing, I'm not too worried about using the Flamestrike to wipe his board. They're all kind of small minions. He might be playing 1 or 2 or 3 more bigger minions later on. And perfect! Look at this! He's got... Oh wait, not perfect. I lied. I take it back. I regret that decision that I said. I regret saying that. Oh, shut up. Okay, I was going to play a Flamestrike, but this guy's got a 6-point damage dude on the board, and I would like to at least postpone another turn if I can. So, 3, 6, 9 cards total. If I go and pop the Arcane Intellect now, it's going to put me up to 10, then I can pop the Frost Nova. Hope to God that I get another Frost Nova or a Blizzard for the following turn. Otherwise, I'm going to have to ping into this guy and then do a Frost Nova, which will put me at 5. I can only do 2 points of mana left.
What to do? What to do?
Okay, let me think about this. I think this is appropriate. I feel like that's the right decision, and I'm going to stick to it. So next turn I can drop down the Flamestrike, wipe everything off his board, get another 5 points of healing back to me, which will put me at a total of 12 hit points, which will probably sustain me at least for another turn, which means I can drop down the Arcane Intellect and have an opportunity to get the Emperor Thaurissan or the Mr. T. Okay, cool. There's an Antique Healbot. Go to drop down the Flamestrike now. Let's capitalize on that 5 plus hit points that I just received. Next turn I could drop down an Antique Healbot if I need to. Cro-Magus! You know what is actually really fun to play? Is if your opponent has Cro-Magus and you have a Cold Light Oracle, his Cro-Magus will proc every single time he draws a card from your own Cold Light Oracle. Because as you can see there, I didn't realize that at first. So if you play if you're playing a controlling type of deck, or I'm sorry, a fatigue type of deck, and you got, like, say you're playing fatigue mage or fatigue rogue, and you got a bunch of those cold light oracles, and he drops that down, and you got like some shadow steps, whoo, you're gonna be burning a lot of his cards. Okay, so let's go ahead and drop down Antique Healbot now. Actually, hold on. Always do card draw first. 3, 6, 9. Okay. Go to do that now. Puts us up to 10. There's the Emperor Thaurissan. What I could do is I could go ahead and drop him down now, but I don't have a Sorcerer's Apprentice, so I want to wait till I have a Sorcerer's Apprentice. So I'm going to go ahead and just pop down the Antique Healbot for a little bit more sustain, hopefully survive at least another turn or two without triggering the Ice Block. Keep in mind, this deck is all about sustain. It's about sustaining all the way through to the end until you can get to the point where you have all your combo cards. So he did indeed drop down a Nefarian, however you pronounce it. I'm not terribly worried about that. Add 2 random spells to your hand from your opponent's class. Ooh. Okay, so what do I want to do here? I got 3, 6, 9, 10 total cards. So I feel like if I drop down the Mad Scientist, I'll have a chance at getting an Ice Barrier, maybe an Ice Block. I want to go ahead and drop him down. I could drop down the Arcane Intellect now, but I feel like it might be more appropriate to drop this guy down and then drop the Emperor Thaurissan, although I really need that Emperor Thaurissan for a Sorcerer's Apprentice. Although I've got 12 more cards. I don't have another Ice Block yet, but I do have this guy.
Justice demands retribution.
No, shut up.
Time runs out on me.
Okay, I'm going to do that guy first. Another Novice Engineer. Okay, so hopefully this guy survives because he ignores this dude by attacking with these 2 guys into me. Okay, so unfortunately I was not able to get a doohickey. Was not able to get a Sorcerer's Apprentice into my hand to be able to use the Emperor Thaurissan, but if he does try to go for lethal and ignores this dude, then that's going to be maximum value for us. Okay, there goes the Consecration. They trying to be... Oh! No! Okay, that's okay. That's okay, because we are going to be able to survive at least... maybe, theoretically, survive another turn. Perhaps. Maybe. Maybe not so much now. That sucks. He did pull one of my... well, no, actually, he pulled a secret. I don't know which secret, but a secret. Okay. Gonna drop that down now. 1, 2. There's the 2 Sorcerer's Apprentices. Okay. I'm at 3, 6, 9, 10. Half the battle with playing this type of deck is just managing the card draw that you have, because a lot of times you're kind of fumbling over all your cards. You have too many in your hand, and you don't want to burn any. Draw that guy. Okay, that is good news. The Frost Nova is excellent news. I could drop down the Acolyte of Pain and drop down the Frost Nova, which I think I'm going to do. And hopefully he doesn't end up burning my cards as a result. But we'll see. Hopefully he doesn't attack into the Acolyte of Pain more than twice. 3, 6, 8. As long as he attacks into it once and then I draw a card, then I'm good. Ooh. Okay. Are you kidding me? You gotta be kidding me. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. What I could do is I could drop down the Sorcerer's Apprentice, drop down the Blizzard, have an opportunity to lose that Sorcerer's Apprentice, which I really don't want to do.
What to do?
3, 6, 9. Or I could just kill him possibly right now. No. Okay. He might have a counterspell, so we're going to have to test that theory.
What to do?
And he might have a mirror entity.
Someday I'll be just
So we'll just do
like
this.
you.
Okay, there goes the counterspell. I'm totally fine with that. I'd rather go ahead and waste it on the blizzard now.
One's out on me.
3, 6, 7, 8. Let's go ahead and attack into that dude. There.
Oh, if you're sure.
Okay. Next turn, I feel like we're going to be sitting pretty. Feel like we're going to be sitting pretty. This game definitely requires you to think a lot, which is something that I'm not that good at. That's unfortunate. Okay. Oh, that's right. He's got a Chromagus. Okay, there goes the Ice Barrier, but he's going to trigger the Ice Block anyways. Doesn't matter. Okay. That is the appropriate way to handle Ice Block. You want to, if you're ever playing against a Mage and he's got an Ice Block, you want to get him down as close to 1 before triggering the Ice Block. And look at that, we've got another Ice Block in our hand. Okay, the question is, can we do Fatal right now? No, because even if I drop the Ice Block... Oh, this sucks. This actually is terrible. These two boom bots puts me in a terrible position.
What to do? What to do?
Let me think here. I drop down Malygos. And I drop down Arcane Explosion. I don't think I have a choice here. I'm gonna have to try to get another card draw here.
One's out on me.
I'm gonna have to save him. I gotta save the Sorcerer's Apprentice to dodge these two boom bots here. I have no choice. I gotta freeze them up and waste those 2 cards. So he's got a full table. Here's what's gonna happen next turn, folks. Next turn, I'm gonna be dropping down Malygos. I'm gonna be dropping down Sorcerer's Apprentice. And I'm gonna be praying to the RNGesus that his 2 boom bots do not kill either one of them. Okay, here we go. There's one other thing. I have to pray that's not an Ice Block. Okay, here we go. Okay, that's a duplicate. Can we dodge 1 bullet? Can we dodge 2? Can we dodge 3? Ah, we win! Yeah! Woo, ooh, ooh. Okay, that is the game, folks.
I'm sorry.
Okay, so, ta-da! Oh, that was terrifying! Okay, well anyways, there you go. That is Mage Mass Explosion. Holy crap. Let's back out one more time and talk about a couple of things. Whew. Man, I was worried there. That took a long time. Okay, so number 1, I do apologize. I'm not the greatest player in the world. With that being said, it is a hell of a lot of it's a hell of a lot of fun and very rewarding to kill your opponent that way. This deck is extremely fun. If you do play against, keep in mind, if you play against a controlling type of deck, you got a really good shot at winning. If you play against an aggro deck, you got maybe like a 50-50. And if you play against controlling a warrior who has a crap ton of armor, forget about it. The only max amount of damage you can do with all your spell cards is 50. So I wouldn't necessarily insta-concede if you're playing against a warrior, but if you start to see him be a little controlling and stack up all the armor, you might as well just give up. There's no point. Once he gets to 20 armor or more, you're done. That being said, keep in mind your Bloodmage Thalnos. Unless you're able to get more than one turn, like unless you're able to get 2 or 3 turns off of your Emperor Thaurissan, you're most likely not going to be pairing up your Bloodmage Thalnos with your Malygos, because if you have a Malygos and 2 Sorcerer's Apprentice, or even 1, you're already going to be using 8, 9, possibly 10 mana crystals. You're not going to have any room for this guy unless he's already reduced by Emperor Thaurissan. So with that being said, I find the most effective use for this guy is either with a Blizzard or against aggro guys with an Arcane Missile or a Frostbolt, maybe an Arcane Explosion. I really don't recommend to use it unless you absolutely have to. And if you do, don't use more than one. Only use one, and don't even try to use that if you can afford it. Acolyte of Pain and your Novice Engineers and your Arcane Intellect. Be careful with your card draw. It's really easy to fumble over your card and start burning them, especially if your opponent's going to be a fatigue type of an opponent, or a controlling opponent who is not throwing anything on the board, so you have nothing to use your Frost Novas or your Blizzards on. Be careful of that, because there have been a few times where I end up tripping over my own cards and have to burn some of them. And sometimes you will burn those vital cards that you absolutely need to pull off the deck. And that's kind of about it. I mean, you can trade out some cards. I know some people prefer throwing in a couple of Icelands cards and swapping out some other cards. Maybe instead of 2 Novice Engineers, they do 2 Loot Hoarders. Instead of 2 Acolyte of Pains, do 2 Cold Light Oracles. Really your preference. Play around with it. Give it a try. See how you like it. It's a lot of fun. The games can be kind of long, and they take a lot of thinking. Something, like I said, that I'm not that good at. But, yeah, very, very fun deck. And that's pretty much about it, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed watching my show. Please leave a like for me if you will, trying to build my channel. And until next time, my name is Meerkat.